Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I really hope that you enjoyed my previous videos as much as you're going to enjoy this one. This is more of a summery glowy look. Yes, it's a bit more dramatized, but I said, you know, let's go ahead and do it just to represent the beautiful vibe of the sun and the sunset and whatever you want to call this look. So have fun with it, and most of all, if you are going to recreate this look, I would love to see it. If you want, you can send it to my Facebook, which is denkamoreno@hotmail.com, or you could post it on here on my YouTube channel, and I'll be very happy to see what you have created on your own. And yeah, exciting moments. So let's go ahead and show you this look, how it's done. First of all, I'm going to start applying my Velvet Primer. It's the anti-wrinkle from Gosh. This one is really good because it has no preservatives and no perfume. I would recommend this because I do have very dry skin and I have eczema, and this is like one of the best primers that I've ever tried because it's so hydrating. It's a little bit oily, but it's really good because it sinks into your skin very well, and that's what you need for the foundation to stay on nice on your skin and to look flawless and beautiful. So I do highly recommend this one. Next off, I'm going to start with using my Fit Me Maybelline number 20 concealer, and it looks like this. I do like these concealers, and I do like the foundation also. It is quite good and affordable, so I'm just gonna apply this onto the upper lids. And when it comes to this type of concealer, I do recommend that you leave it to dry a little bit before you blend it out, because I think it helps to sort of set it a little bit, to make it a bit thicker, to make it a bit sticky, so that way you can work with it faster than when it's very fluidy, like very watery. It's like it goes all over your eye and you get patches and whatever, and it takes longer to tap it into the skin. So I do recommend that you leave it to dry a little bit. So after you left it to dry a little bit, then you can go in with your finger and just dab it into your skin. So next, what I'm going to be using neutral shadow just to set my eyelids and for the eyeshadow to stay on much longer throughout the day and have no creases. So usually a lot of people tend to use a primer instead of using eyeshadow, which I'm going to do. This one is from the Revolution palette, which looks like this. My one's a bit messy with my little fingers. This one is the Flawless number 4, and I'm going to be using this one here, and I'm just going to be applying that along my whole lid right up to the eyebrows, just to set it. And especially when you get to the crease, try to do this drawing in a rainbow in order to blend it out and really set it. You want to make sure that this part is like really fully covered, that you don't have no patches. So when you do pat it in, just try to sort of go in a gradual patting motion rather than going all over the place and then you don't know whether you have patches or not. But it's obviously clearly visible, but some people may get a bit confused. So now that I've worked this color into my lid, I'm going to go ahead and take the next color from my recent palette that I picked up in Superdrugs, called I Love Makeup Chocolate Orange, and it looks like this in a shape of a chocolate, my favorite because I'm obsessed with chocolate. And I'm going to go ahead and use my lighter shade of orange, which is this one here. And I'm just going to apply that all over my lid, keeping it mainly at the bottom, then working it to the top so it stays in that one place. So I want it quite intense, so I'm going to dab it in a little bit. Now that I've applied this shadow, I'm going to go in with the more intense darker shadow, this orangey one here. Put that into the corners of my eyelids. So just gonna apply it sort of halfway to the middle, about here, of the eye. Just put it a bit across. And the same on this side. I do want this to be quite intense in the corners because I want the stronger orange to show through. When you get too much on top of your eyelid, don't be scared to just wipe it off with a little bit of your finger, because that's like works best because it's clean and it will take off the shadow a bit more easier than a brush. Now that I have the perfect circle, I will go in and blend with my Body Shop blending brush, which looks like this. And I will just be blending out the edges. Now that I've finished with the darker orange, I will go back in with the first shadow that I've used all over my eyelid, which was the lighter yellow, the lighter orange. And I'm just going to dab that into here where I first applied it, and I will stop around here and just dab in between the two lines so it looks very blended. Make sure that they are the same height on your eyelid and that they are finishing in the same line on both eyes. Take a baby wipe or any sort of wet tissue. You can use your eye makeup remover. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be applying my eyebrows, filling in my eyebrows. I will be using my L'Oreal Paradise Pomade Extatic, and this one is in a shade brunette. Yeah, I think it's brunette. It's quite cute because it comes with like a little attachable brush. I'm just gonna lightly go upward strokes. And just following my shape. So do like a very light outline. So like downward strokes. Right now it looks weird. It's like drawn on, but will shortly be something magnificent. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and use my little brow mascara gel, and this is from the collection, and I'm just gonna brush it out as well as sticking it into place. I find this quicker. I mean, sometimes you can use a small brush first to brush out the harsh lines and then put the gel on, but in this case I'm just gonna quickly do both at the same time. You want these eyebrows to look natural as possible. You don't want them to look like they've been drawn on. Now that I'm happy with my eyebrows, I'm going to apply a little bit of gold like I did here from the Revolution makeup palette, Flawless 4, this shade here. And I'm just gonna apply that along my brow bone. And then just dab it in a little bit between the orange eyeshadow and the gold shadow. Now that I've finished my underbrow, I'm going to go ahead and use my Maybelline Master Ink eyeliner. Okay, so now that I've finished applying my eyeliner on the other eye, I am going to go ahead and use my Maybelline 20, what I used on the top lid, and I'm just gonna apply that under my eyes. And a little bit in between, a little bit on my nose, where the dark areas are. And I'm just gonna tap that in. I know usually a lot of people like to apply the concealer after they apply the foundation and then they apply the concealer on top, but I prefer to put a little bit underneath and then put maybe extra if I need any more on top, so that way it gives me like a better coverage. Okay, so now that I've done my concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my Pore eraser. This is by Maybelline New York. It's called the Baby Skin. And I'm just gonna apply a very small amount around where I have my pores. So this is mainly around this area here. I'm going to take my Body Shop P71E brush. This is a foundation brush, so it's a good way to blend in your foundation a bit better. So I'm going to be using my Healthy Mix foundation. This one is 53 Beige Clear Light Beige. And I'm just gonna put that onto my brush. I like this brush because it actually makes it look so blended for the foundation, and also like if you want to get into the smallest places like on the corners of your nose, it really gets in there. Also, to avoid your hairline get messy while you're applying around your head, what you can do is just tap close to it and then take a smaller brush and put your foundation on it and just go into the smaller last bit places, like to the closest hairline. Or what you can do, if you get it on the hair like I just did, you just take a baby wipe and you wipe it off your hair. Put the foundation to the neck so it kind of blends in a bit more with my neck. But I mean, if you know your shade, it should at least like cover to your jawline and people shouldn't be able to notice it, so that's the correct color for you. But if you get a slightly darker shade or warmer shade like I have now, I do recommend blending it in a little bit into your neck, so that way it's not too visible that you're wearing foundation that's not the closest to your skin tone. And then also on your ears as well, just to blend in a little bit of color. So yeah, so usually what you can do to wipe off the foundation from your hair, you just take a little bit of baby wipe and you just wipe on your hair like so. And you can see it's coming off very easily. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my NYX Wonder Stick. This one is in a shade Universal. I'm just gonna apply it along here and here. And a bit here. And a bit here. I find this contour quite useful actually, because you can get into specifically the nose area as well very easily. I'm just gonna apply a little bit along here and a little bit along here. So I'm just gonna go in with my Kiko brush. I absolutely love this, 57, and it looks like this, and it's my baby for contouring. I absolutely love it. So I'm just gonna blend that in very gently, because obviously this is not the main contour, but it could be if you want it to be. This is very gentle contouring. This is literally going to make you look extra slim. You lost so much weight in one day probably. So much weight. People will be asking you, how did you lose weight from one day to the other? Just say, I do face exercises. I love this little baby brush. It just gets in all the places that I needed to get to. So, I'm going to take. I do like this color because it's quite light and it doesn't sit too heavy. So that way you can still do your powder contour. It's not gonna look very extreme. Now I'm going to quickly go back in with my Fit Me Maybelline concealer, like I said, and I'm gonna dab that back into my under eyes and a little bit down the bridge of my nose and a little bit around here because it tends to get dark around these areas. And I'm just gonna blend that in with my fingers. And I'm just gonna put a bit more extra around here where my contour is for my nose, just to make it stand out more. Obviously with the bridge of my nose, it is good to use your hands if you can get in there, maybe with your little pinky. I'm actually gonna try and attempt that, but usually I have a little brush, which I can't find right now, and it's like really tiny, and I use that for the nose, the bridge of my nose. So I'm just gonna dab it in here just to have that extra light. Just go in that kind of motion. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and use my powder, which is the NYX finishing powder, and I'm just going to use my angle brush. I do like to use this one because I can easily get under my eyes as well. This is from Body Shop, and this is the P32E, and I'm just gonna dab that in lightly and then tap off the excess, and then dab it into my skin like so. Just to set the foundation and the concealer. And make this look a bit more matte. Next I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of bronzer. The Hoola from Benefit. I think everybody uses this stuff because it's so good. And it comes with like with a little brush to help you a little bit as well. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it along my cheekbone. I'm going to apply a little bit along my forehead. I'm going to apply a little bit of my mascara, which is the Rimmel Day to Night. I'm gonna use the small brush, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of mascara. Now I'm going to apply my lashes. Pinky Gold, Amani. Okay, lashes are on. I love them. They're so beautiful and so glamorous. Who wouldn't like to have this in real life? So back in with my chocolate orange palette, and I'm going to be using, which is this one here, and I'll be just using my small eyeshadow brush, just so that it's not that empty underneath the eye. Like so. So now that I have applied the shadow, I will be going in with the Master Smoky, and I will be using the black liner along my waterline. I have applied my liner inside of my eyes. I did a little bit of mascara off the camera on my bottom lashes with the same mascara that I've used on my top lashes, and now I'm going to go ahead and use my Smashbox limited edition Fuse Blown. It's this one here. So I'm just gonna gently put that onto my cheek. So I'm just gonna use this as a highlighter. Just gonna put a little bit above here and a little bit of here. So like you can get a little bit of that glow. And then a little bit down my nose. I will take a smaller brush for this one, so just a blending brush, and just lightly dab it in and apply it on the bridge of my nose, like so. And a little bit on my cupid's bow. So for the blush, I will choose the Guava from Smashbox, and I'll just be applying that along here, just underneath the highlighter. Okay, so for a liner, I'm going to be using my Mina 502, and I'm just gonna line my lips. And then I'll be putting on my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Morocco C22. It's actually really smooth, look at that texture, and it smells so good. I think these are made from buttercream, but I'm not sure. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply one more, and that's the 116 by L'Oreal. And I'm just gonna apply this just in the middle. And that's it. So this is the finished look. There you have it. This is how it's done. So I hope you really enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. It's a bit intense, but you know what, you can make it anyhow you like it to be. So you can make it your own style, and you could even do it very simple. I mean, it's summer, so you don't have to put as much makeup and as much glam. This is more of an evening look over the summer, but I do recommend that if you do wear it, maybe during the day, maybe less lashes, maybe it doesn't have to be this bright orange lipstick. It could be something more nude so that it looks more natural and more glowy. I do recommend using a lot of like goldy shimmers and sort of anything that represents the sun. So thank you very much for watching my video, and hope to see you next week.